Hey all, I have a couple products here today that I'm comparing. We have two insulin bottle and accessory containers here with slightly different features. So we're gonna go over them, show you what's inside, and if you have insulin bottles and some needles and some accessories that you need stored somewhere while you move around, whether to put it in your purse, in your pocket, in your backpack, whatever, we're gonna go over some of the features, compare them, and then you'll be able to see which one you wanna put your accessories and your insulin bottles in. All right, so we have these two. This one says Auvon on the front. This one doesn't have any logo. Starting from this, the simple one, we have around the same size. Maybe this one is a little smaller, though it is perhaps a bit thicker, and I'll show you why inside. We have a single zipper. We have the back here, which can be strapped onto anything, although I don't like the way this is attached as much as this, since this has its own lanyard and little hook then that you can already use. This has, you know, it's a strap, it's okay. Not as easy to attach to things. So opening up with this zipper, we can immediately see that this is a pretty simple container here. It looks like we have cold storage, so you would put this in the freezer, this kind of cold pack here, and then you can see where you would hold those insulin bottles here, and the caps would be facing the middle, and then that's it. Just the rest of this container, and then you have a pocket here for anything else you might need, although there's nothing blocking the bottles from just smashing right into there. So you might want to put some either paperwork in here, or something soft, or something in the middle, or just at least know that this is going to be touching directly, so you'll want to be careful with that. Relatively simple, relatively small, no extra features there. I noticed in this container that this is insulated, however, this doesn't have the silvery inner lining that the other one has, that I'll show you in a second. So that's all for this one. So let's close that one up. The second one from Auvon is a little bit fancier in my opinion. It's got that extra lanyard thing here. It also has a zipper here, which doesn't open it, but it actually zips around the entire thing, all the way to the inside there, and it actually allows you to expand the whole thing, kind of like a suitcase, right? Where that zipper around, and then it just allows you to like lift up the top by like a centimeter or two, and that just allows you to stuff it a little bit more. I think that's pretty huge for this kind of thing, especially if you want to pack all your supplies in here. All right, so let's open up the other zipper area, and this is going to open up to the main area here. So we have this paperwork in the card slot, a little plastic sleeve there, so you can just stick whatever paperwork you have in here, information, instructions, stuff like that. On this side, still in its plastic, we have a cold pack, so you put this in the freezer, you'd stick it in this pocket, and then if you have anything you want frozen, you put it in any of these many pockets along the side. So some of the other pockets in here, for example, will host a ton of different options. So you have the smaller pockets here, you have the bands here, you have a bunch of other pockets up here. Now you don't want anything to like smash into each other, so you're gonna have to be smart with how you place things in here. I think, yeah, there's more pockets here, more pockets here. This one's Velcroed shut, and you have another pocket that's Velcroed. And then on the other side, you have that additional cold pack. And this entire thing can just come right out because of the Velcro on the inside. So if you don't want anything in there, you could just have just the case itself. And you can see that it has that silvery inner lining for extra thermal insulation. And then here's that Velcro strip. So if I want to just put the pockets back in, I can move that out of the way and just stick that right back in. So if you're taking your needles out, your accessories, your bottles, it would just come right out in the middle, and then you'd be able to keep the rest of it cold. And that's it for the features of this one. Again, relatively simple, just thermal insulation. You want to keep those cold packs nice and cold so you don't ruin anything. And in general, I do think this one is a lot better than the other one. That one just has a couple spaces for some bottles, and this one has a lot more room. However, it feels a little bit more secure in that there's a plastic hard shell for those so they won't get cracked, whereas this one has room for a lot of other things, and things might get in the way, so you'll want to be careful with that. But in any case, I do like this one better. It's larger, it has more options, more pockets, stuff like that. But in any case, I'm interested to know what you think, so let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.